YouTube. Welcome back to the 2K Dynasty channel. We are here again with episode 2 of the Disaster to Dynasty series. It's your boy Fly Guy, and when we last left off at the draft lottery. We were the worst team in the league, and we have the best odds to get the first pick, tied with two other teams at 14%. So basically, if it doesn't fall within the top 4, it's gonna go to the Thunder, and that's what we don't want. So when we simulate this, that's what we're hoping for. It says we have the 13th pick via Portland, but that's lottery protected, so that's automatically gonna convey to Portland. In real life, that pick is like the 23rd pick or the 24th pick. But in this 2K simulation, I guess Portland wasn't even good enough to make the playoffs, which kind of what happened in real life. Getting bounced like that by Denver. But, happens. So, yeah, Portland keeps their pick at 13. And we're going to sit here and just hope and pray that we get this top 4 pick. Because of the top prospects that we have available, we got, Cade Cunningham, a 6'8" point guard who can shoot, dribble, pass, defend. He got it all, You got Evan Mobley, a 7-foot center, I believe. They call him a unicorn. I haven't watched too much film on him, but I'm gonna take their word for it. But they say he's a better version of Kristaps, I guess. You got Jalen Suggs, the Gonzaga point guard, hitting the game winner against UCLA in the tournament, showing big time potential. A real floor general. You got Jalen Green, the absolute scorer of this draft. He got the bunnies. What can you say about that? Looking at this draft lottery, so far so good, basically. Our pick hasn't really been pushed back. Not that I see. At the 6th pick, this is where we really want to watch. 6th and 5th. If the Rockets' name don't pop up, then that means we at least got top 4. That means we in there, We got some going on for ourselves. So at number 5, it says the pick goes to OKC, but is that the Houston pick? That's the question. It is not. I do not believe. I think that's the Thunder. That's their own pick. That's crazy. So the Thunder would have had 2 top 5 picks had that would have happened. So that's real crazy. So we have made it to the top 3, which is really, really great. That means we could pick either Cade, Evan Mobley, or Jalen Suggs. And we are now top 2. Options. We getting options, y'all. We getting options. Where we at with it, though? 2nd pick goes to OKC. Alright. Our luck runs out right there. But we get the number 2 pick. Thunder via Houston. Give me that back, sir. Yes, sir. We'll live with that. As Detroit gets the number 1 pick. Detroit. See, the thing about this is, do we really want this number 2 pick? Do we want to trade it for a superstar or try to trade it for a superstar? Do we want to try to trade up and get the number 1 pick? Because Cade Cunningham is he's a generational player, He's something different. Something that, you don't see every draft. A 6'8" point guard who could dribble, pass, shoot, defend, do everything that needs to be done on the court. A complete prospect as is. NBA ready. Already 220 pounds. It's crazy. We'll see what we can do.
But looking at this staff situation, we ain't really gotta look too much into it. Everybody must go. except for Steven Silas. He was just dealt a bad hand this year. You want to get a new GM, you want to get new assistant coaches, new trainer, new head scout, and you want to make sure all their stuff is A. Either A or above, A+, A-, something like that. And the first trade that we want to make sure we do is we want to make sure we go ahead and get our number 2 pick back from OKC, because 2K just doesn't comprehend top 4 pick swaps and all that stuff. So you got to do that for yourself. So we're going to trade 2 seconds for our first round second pick. And we're going to get that back. And we're going to look at what we can get. Hopefully a Cade Cunningham or Evan Mobley. But if we really want to do something special, if you really want Hall of Fame potential, you got to get the best of the best. If you have the number 2 pick and you have as many picks as the Houston Rockets has, I say why not trade up for the number 1 pick? Why not try to make a trade package that contains maybe the second pick, the 2022 Brooklyn unprotected pick. You can give Detroit their pick back because it's lottery protected to 2027, and they can take a veteran in Daniel House. Obviously, that trade would work on 2K, so why not do it? Still looking to get off of John Wall's contract, but none of the trades look to give any value back to the team, really. You can add picks to John Wall, you can try all you want, but it's just no team wants a bad contract like that. $44 million for a person who really ain't gonna do much for you. But Eric Gordon, on the other hand, he might be able to make something shake. There are some teams that are willing to give up a first, maybe 2 firsts. I don't really see 2 firsts being given up for Eric Gordon, but you know, in 2K it's a little easy. But we're gonna try giving Eric Gordon to the Atlanta Hawks for 2 first-round picks, I believe. That's what they said they'll give me. And those 2 first-round picks, those picks are it's a first and a second. And I'm okay with that, because we're getting a OKC Thunder unprotected pick for next year, which, who knows, OKC might try to tank again next year. You have to look into the value of the team that you're trading for, the pick for. It gets real tricky whenever you start getting into the GM type stuff of the NBA. But this is what happens behind the scenes. You try to clear enough cap space to sign a max player, but it's damn near impossible for that to happen when you got a player like John Wall holding up all the cap space, $44 million. You only get to spend $108 or $18 million per year on your players. And if you're already spending a little bit less than half of that on one player, the rest of your team is not going to look too well. So you have to rebuild through the draft if you're going to hold a contract like that. So looking at these prospects, you want to look for the most upside, the player who's going to help your franchise get to the top quicker. And Cade Cunningham or Evan Mobley or Jalen Suggs could be that person. But, you know, since we traded for the first pick, I don't see any other reason why we wouldn't trade for Cade Cunningham. He's the consensus number 1 pick. If you pick anybody else other than Cade Cunningham at the number 1 pick, you're really not doing yourself any justice, because there's a lot of questions with the other top prospects. And with Cade, there may be 1 or 2 questions, if that. So I'm glad that we're trading for the number 1 overall pick. We've got that locked down. And entering the draft, you really don't have to look at it, man. You see Evan Mobley, you see his ceiling at a starter, and you see Cade Cunningham's ceiling at Hall of Fame, Gary Payton. It's a bad comparison, but Hall of Fame, that's what you want to look for. The only one with A+ potential other than Scotty Barnes and Jalen Johnson. I say you make the pick at number 1, Cade Cunningham. And of course, you know, Cade would be taking John Wall's spot. Or he could slide to the small forward, which is probably what we might do for the first season, just to see if it will work. Evan Mobley goes second to the Detroit Pistons. That'll be a nice little fit for him. Kai Jones, number 3. You really don't see that at all. Like, at all. Kai Jones at 3. I don't know what to say about that. Jalen Suggs at 4. 2K. I guess. We have another pick all the way at the end of the draft, which is the 28th pick. We can try to trade it away, try to get another player, but if you have a player like James Bouknight at the end of the draft, if he falls that far, I don't see why you don't pick him up. Whenever you get a player who falls to the end of the draft just due to questions or due to this and that, you take a chance on him. It's the last pick in the first round anyways. Why not? So we pick up James Bouknight with the 28th pick in the draft. We also have one last pick, and that would be in the second round. And with that pick, I think we need to pick up a big to back up Christian Wood, because we really don't have any interior defense. Re-signing Kelly Olynyk, we didn't sign any true inside defender, and that's where Christian Wood lacks. So with the first pick in the second round, we pick Isaiah Jackson, a power forward. And those are our 3 rookies for this draft. This draft shaped up pretty funny. Jalen Green goes all the way to 6 to the Magic. And Jonathan Kuminga drops all the way to 8 to the Wizards. It's pretty wild. Moses Moody to the 76ers at 11. But we get the best player in the draft because we have the best trade assets and, you know, as far as draft capital. I don't see why Detroit wouldn't do that draft day trade if they're gonna add picks to their, you know, to the draft box, you know, and a veteran in Daniel House. So we're gonna sign Cade Cunningham, James Bouknight, and Isaiah. Also, we're gonna take in Jason Tate's option and Sterling Brown's option. And that's leaving us with a good little, you know, set team so far. And now we're looking for a star, or at least a semi-star, somebody who could help out Christian Wood, a running mate. John Collins would be the perfect guy, but I'm not sure if the Hawks would give him up. We could try DeMar DeRozan, an aging star. He's a small forward who can play the 4. But I don't know if I really like that fit. But it never hurts to have star talent on your team. And it really doesn't look like anybody else would come. DeMar DeRozan accepts his contract of 1 year, 32, the max, which means we can't really sign anybody else. So I'm not even sure if we want to do that, because we won't be able to sign Kelly Olynyk, Sterling Brown. My bad. Shannon Brown is his brother, if y'all didn't know that. Y'all look up Shannon Brown. He does some crazy dunks and has a crazy block. Well, yeah, watch Shannon Brown highlights. But you got to fill out your team with young and veterans who can fill out the locker room and help bring together the team chemistry-wise. You don't want a bunch of young players who are looking for the playing time. You got to have players who know their role. So you sign some vets who can teach some of your younger players, you know. I don't know what we're going to do with DeMar DeRozan on our team, but it doesn't look like we're going to actually get him, because his contract is a little bit too much for us, and it wouldn't allow us to sign anybody else. So we're just going to fill out our roster with a bunch of bits and pieces, a couple of vets here and there, maybe a young player, extra young player here and there. And because most of these vets would probably want to be on a championship winning team. I mean, I would if I was them. But it looks like it's a little rough to find a backup center, an interior defender, somebody who could help Christian Wood. So looks like we might have to wing it again for one more season with pieces like Paul Millsap and maybe a JaVale McGee or a Rudy Gay. JaVale McGee would actually be pretty good for this team. But then again, he probably looking for a championship too. So it really just depends on a player's expectations of what they want in their career. Do they want the money or do they want, a ring? So we get players like Paul Millsap, Rudy Gay, both on the team, and they can help develop our young players and teach them the ropes, man. Players like Kevin Martin Jr. and KJ Martin. Not KJ, this is the same person. Kevin Porter. See, the juniors is really what's gonna mess us up, y'all. They're the ones who are gonna get us confused. But we get to player progression, and hopefully all of our young players go up, except for Christian Wood, who seems to go down because of his inside scoring went down this year. But we got him to an A+ 3-point shooting. So he's a real deadly 3-point shooter now. And so this year we want to make sure he doesn't fall off again on the inside scoring. We want him to increase his overall. So we are going to send all of our players to a good training camp, whether it's these off-season training camps or the in-season training camps. It's good to use the untapped potential sometimes, but some of the other times you want to really look at a player's weaknesses and try to improve them. Like Cade Cunningham, he's a good passer, but you want to turn good to great as early as you can to make a player an all-star or a superstar instead of just working on potential. If he's already got good potential, let him work on that good potential already. Don't need to improve it anymore. And to start the season, we want to make sure we got the same young rotation. Maybe John Wall is a starter still since he's a 80 still. We got Kevin Martin gonna start over Jason Tate this year. Jason Tate will come off the bench, and we have Kelly Olynyk, who's gonna be our power forward, and a whole bunch of power forwards behind him. We got a lot of depth at power forward, so it's not like we're hurting for big men. But we have Christian Wood, our lone center, and we're gonna run it like that this year, and hopefully we can make it to the playoffs and redeem ourselves from the trash we was last year. Because no team deserves to go through that type of loss, that type of losing streak. I feel bad for teams who be down bad for a long time. So that's the whole point of 2K Dynasty, is to show how every team can go on the road to being a dynasty. How each team can be better than the rest. And this is the way I'm going to show y'all. And I want to give a big shout out to our giveaway winner, Caleb Veasley. He put the correct comment in the comment section last video with the first pick and Cade. Even though we got the second pick, we did trade up. We did pick Cade. So technically, Caleb Veasley, you did get the question right. So you get to earn that first dollar ever from the 2K Dynasty channel. And hopefully this is the first dollar of many and the first of great big giveaways and great big things coming from this channel. So tune in next video, and I have 2 questions for y'all this time. So $2. What will our record be at the end of an 82-game season with the team we have? And does our team need any trades? And if we do, who was the first person to get traded off of our team? Y'all let me know those 2 answers in the comment section, and let's get to it. I'll see y'all next video.